Other interesting business news, you have Nvidia to make PC chips in a new attempt to rival Intel, which is going to be a fantastic battle of informational technology. Nvidia has basically, again, I don't know if they necessarily created, well, you could debate if they actually created the graphics design or graphic chip manufacturer segment, but they sure as hell perfected it. Now, if you need a new chip for your computer, or rather a new graphics card for your computer, odds are it's an Nvidia. When I built the podcast PC, or my editing PC, where I actually edit these in addition to the interview podcast I host, some of the episodes, between 10 and maybe it's an interview with the high resolution cameras, 756 gigs for about 1 hour show. And when it comes to looking at graphics cards, there's really one company out there who makes the best. Now, interestingly enough, I say make, they're, I think, most well known for the design and architecture in which they will create it in-house and then they will license it. So in my particular case, I actually got a Gigabyte graphics card, which Gigabyte is a manufacturer, and they basically pay a license to Nvidia, who designed it, which in terms of a profit margins as a company is even better for Nvidia because they get the benefit without having to have that huge cost of manufacturing it. They still make their own chips, don't get me wrong, and there's still cards, and they've been dominating that industry. So they had a couple of booms that exponentially raised their price point for a share of stock beyond $400 per share, which in terms of astronomical growth, I can't fathom beating that. Again, stock changes on a near minute basis. As of the recording of this episode, is $417.70 per share with a market cap of $1.03 trillion, which is a huge feat in and of itself. There's less than 15 businesses currently around who have passed that $1 trillion mark. Perhaps the most famous one known that everyone likes is Apple. They passed $1 trillion, then recently they actually passed the $3 trillion, which is a huge accomplishment in and of itself. Now, when it comes to in the past 5 years, Nvidia, their stock's gone up 742%, which, gosh dang, hindsight's always 20/20 when it comes to stock investments or many things in life. But geez Louise, if I was more active in gambling on other people, I would definitely have bought their stock. In the past year, it's gone up 214%. And they started at $132 a share, which at the time I thought that was a huge amount of money relative to the stock. And now it's at $417. So needless to say, they were wildly successful. They've had a couple booms help the company as well in terms of culture and industry trends. When it comes to the Bitcoin mining, well, you need a really good graphics card to do that. They're the de facto industry leader, so a lot of people purchase those. And with AI, that's a whole nother application. So there's a lot of industry trends that are exponentially helping this company grow and develop. Now, interestingly enough, when it comes to the processing power that you and I perhaps know best, the most popular one for mobile devices is Qualcomm. I believe the Snapdragon, I forget the model number, but that's probably the one that people have the most experience with when it comes to hands-on. When it comes to a computer that you use, as long as you're not using an Apple, which makes their own, most common one, bar none, when it comes to a processor for your computer, is going to be Intel. They've been around, since the beginning of time, or so it seems. Now, the only really other competitor to Intel is AMD, which they've done great, especially in data centers. And that's where your information is actually, remember, there's no such thing as a cloud, it's just someone else's computer. That's where all your information is actually stored in a good old data center somewhere on a server where they actually has a good old little processors on there. And rudimentary speaking, just simply put, it's very similar to your laptop, just a little bit more stronger, different architecture, all that kind of stuff. Now, interestingly enough, those two companies have a majority of market share, and Nvidia, they want to enter that market. Now, specifically, they want to market ARM-based PC chips and challenge Intel. Now, it looks like, let's see here. This is coming from an article in Reuters, and of course, they know how Nvidia already dominates the market for the AI computing chips. And now this is Intel's bread and butter. They decided they're going to go after them. Now it looks like Nvidia's been quietly designing a central processing unit, CPUs, that would run Microsoft's Windows operating system and use technology from ARM Holdings, ARM Holdings, to people with the matter familiar with, were telling Reuters. Now they claim that Nvidia and AMD could, see, Advanced Micro Devices, AMD, also plans to make chips for PCs with ARM technology, according to two people who are familiar with matter. Nvidia and AMD could sell PC chips as soon as 2025. People familiar with matter said Nvidia and AMD will join Qualcomm, which has been making ARM-based chips for laptops since 2016. And they said at an event on Tuesday that they attended Microsoft executives, including VP of Windows and Devices Pavan. Qualcomm plans to reveal more details about the flagship team, and that a team of ex-Apple engineers designed, according to someone familiar with matter. And of course, the stock went up exponentially as well. So it'd be interesting to see. I'm not sure about I think in terms of consumer products, the profit margins probably are not going to be as good as the traditional products they have been making. But in terms of dominating the industry and becoming even larger than most tech companies can ever possibly fathom, it'll be interesting to see how quickly they can realistically get the product to market. And in that case, how quickly will it be adapted? How quickly until the companies like Dell and Hewlett Packard and Lenovo, what are those buyers going to do when they evaluate this new technology as they're trying to plan out for the future, take into account customer demands, and what type of things are we going to be doing on our laptops in the next coming years? It'll be fascinating to see, but as I always say, time shall tell. Thank you again, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. I know we're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of October, so if you can click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a comment helps me make the channel better and better with your input. Even critical feedback is highly appreciated because I like to say that's how you grow the most. And also, liking the video lets me know I'm on the right track as well. Also, and lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.